So, Jose, I see you. Just kind of messing with my sound bowls a little bit. You can't see them, but they're right here in front of me. But you can hear them, I believe. And so again, I'm just here, disconnecting in the middle of the day. Even though I have to connect to the technology, I'm really sharing it with you guys to be able to do the same thing, though, to disconnect from everything that's going on around us, to connect internally, check in with your mind, check in with your body, see how you're feeling, what you're thinking. You know, how have you been showing up for yourself today? How have you been speaking? How have you been thinking? And how that relates to what you've been, I hope, brother. And how what we've been speaking, thinking, what we've been seeing, what we've been hearing, how that all translates into the emotions that we're feeling. Any fears, any worry, any anxiety, any doubt, right? And so we just kind of come to this space and time to adjust that a little bit, right? So if we've been hearing a lot of anger, craziness, weirdness, if we've been hearing a lot of just confusion, a lot of chaos, how can we adjust what we are putting into our ears, what we're hearing? If what we've been seeing is, depressing, if what we've been seeing is makes us angry, stimulates anger, how can we adjust what we are looking at in our just this present environment for the next few moments? How can we adjust that? Whether it's by getting into some sunlight, or if it's by getting out of the sunlight and getting into a dark room, or a place where there's like a candlelight, or even what we're smelling. What's going on in our sense of smell? Can we adjust that so that as we tame the senses, we can begin to tame what we're thinking? Alright, what have you been reading the last hour? What's the quality of what we've been reading? The quality of what we've been looking at? The quality of the foods that we put into our mouth? Just in the last hour, it might be great. You might be on top of the world. You might be doing all the things that you need to do, and that's great. And I'm speaking to you, and I'm speaking to the ones who, the universe has brought our energy together at this point in time to just hear what it is that is coming through me, right? I'm not going to say what I'm saying, because I don't believe that I'm just saying it for the sake of saying it. It's coming through me, through the books that I've been reading, through the practice that I've been engaged in, and then just to hold space for anybody that needs it right now. I heard a dope thing today that I wanted to come on here and share too with everybody. It's by the brother named Arjuna O'Neill is his name. I'll give him a shout out. And the Yogi Athlete is another brother, and his wife. They were doing a little IG live collaboration, but it was about mindful quarantining. And I was like, man, that's just a dope concept, idea, name, mindful quarantining. And so as we are in our homes, right, for longer periods of time with other people than we are used to, because our work life and being able to run errands and go everywhere freely has caused us to have to come indoors, I thought, what a great idea, mindfulness and quarantining when you put them together. And without trying to go into all that, because I really just want to hold space, the things that came up was, how are we internally dealing with ourselves and dealing with the adjustment, and then how the energy that we hold inside affects those around us. If we're in households where there's like limited bathroom access, just imagine how if there's 4 or 5 people who normally would be out and gone and about in different places to have access to different restrooms and toiletries and etc., now have to converge all in one space for 24 hours, to say at the most extreme case, 24 hours you have to share the same bathroom that you're used to having your moments in time during the day where you can come in and be free. So how can we be mindful while we quarantine around that? The foods that we're eating, that we have access to, certain points in time of the day we might be used to being in the house by ourselves because the kids are at school, this person's at work, this person is doing this, or we're running errands, so we used to have time. And now it's like all that has become sort of like the internet, where everything and everybody has access to everything all at the same time. So we have to have spatial awareness. And our thoughts, our energies are so potent. Our energies are so potent, it affects everyone around. So just imagine, like, if you have a really big house and you have multiple rooms and spaces, yeah, you might be able to recreate a little microcosm of the bigger society. But what about people who are in 1 or 2 bedroom houses or apartments with 3 or 4 people? Just think about that, and not as a comparison, but just now we really have to be, now more than ever, we have to be aware of what's going on within us, and how what we are watching, hearing, seeing, eating, speaking, doing, how that is creating a sort of a chemical imbalance within us that has to manifest itself outward. So everybody's experiencing their moods under the same box, and then at the same time it's like, oh, don't go out to deal with your emotions or get some space or expression. How do we deal with that right in the space that we're in? And so I don't necessarily have the answer to all that, right? That these are just things that were brought into my awareness, into my thought stream by watching and listening to someone else. And so now I'm bringing it to your attention to think about it. I don't have the answers other than, tap into your awareness. The brother said it's you can't heal what you don't feel. So take that with you. My teacher Dharma says it's healing to be feeling. So the message was awareness, self-awareness, right? Self-awareness about just your emotional state of being, your mental state of being, and then how the things that you're doing are affecting that emotional state of being, and then how that, in turn, how can you hold space for yourself, but then hold space for other people that are around you who might not have the ability to hold that space, right? Like kids can not necessarily hold space or be compassionate, so to speak, or be really mindful of how their actions are affecting someone else. And so not that we shouldn't think about our own, but it's in being fully aware of ourselves and fully aware of what's going on inside of us, we could take a step back instead of just being who we want to be. Sometimes people think, oh, I should just have the freedom to just be who I want to be when I want to be. And then the people around them have to deal with that experience. But from a more service-oriented, from a more heartfelt, compassionate standpoint, it's like, okay, I know that I'm feeling angry. I know that I'm feeling frustrated. How can I hold space for that? How can I compassionately dissolve that without having to fully bust down and break everybody, blow up everybody's world, just so that I can be like, oh, okay, now I feel better. But everybody's everybody's, spun out, flipped upside down, metaphorically speaking. So just be mindful in your quarantine. Mindful of how much you eat. Be mindful of how much internet you consume, right? Be mindful of how much energy overall you consume. Be okay with just stopping and not doing anything. And don't feel like if you're not doing, you're not being successful, or if you're not doing something, you're not being productive, or you're not being a man, or you're not if you're I thought about this myself. If you're in a household, where there are some income challenges right now, it's no one's fault, right? So, but I've been in situations before where, like, the income gets challenging, and then we start pointing fingers at whose fault it is. I'm not working hard. You're not working hard. You're not hustling. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. So for those husband and wife or girlfriend or partnerships out there, whatever the dynamic is in the household, if this current state of affairs has shifted the income, right? It doesn't make you less of a man if you're not providing as much financially, right? It doesn't make you any less or more of a woman if you've got to do more or you can't do less or whatever. Just know that it's no one's fault right now. So the best thing that we can do for each other is hold each other up and be creative and find ways to hold the space for each other. And that sometimes is just by doing nothing and just accepting it. I'm not going to do anything. I try to just give myself an hour a day, if not more, to just sit. And that sitting can be like this with my legs crossed, or it could be laid out on my yoga mat on the floor. It could be laid out on my little couch over there. It could be laying in bed. It could be sitting just means being still and just allowing everything to happen and not feeling like I gotta feel the urge to do something, to feel, right? He also mentioned in the talk that right now everybody's saying this is the best time to invest, this is the best time to create content, this is the best time to become this and do that, while everybody else is sitting around and doing this and doing that. Do this, do. Maybe it is, and that's good, and I'm not saying don't. Stay productive, stay creative, go inward. But maybe sometimes too, to balance it out, we just be still. For those of us who can, right? And being still is a challenge, depending on the makeup of your household. If you have younger, rambunctious kids, it'll be a challenge for you to find not only your space and time to be still, but also to try to get those bright, illuminating, energetic kids to be still would take some practice, but it's something that can be worked on. It's not a perfect, it'll be a practice. So I think that's all that I had to say, right? Be mindful of what you're putting out in the world on social media. Make it more positive than it is angering, frustrating, finger pointing, blaming other people, stimulating those emotions in other people. Balance that out with what you put out. Make people laugh, make people feel good, make people feel, their emotions, but don't poke into the wound if you can help it with what you post and put out. And I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do, just being mindful and be aware. And so now, let's just take a break to just kind of sit and chill wherever you are. I'm going to tinker around with these bowls here that I have. Make some noise with them. I'm not perfect, but you guys can just enjoy it. Let's turn on this one. I like this track right here. This one is a heart, fourth chakra heart, opening. It says green open heart bliss. 528 hertz and 639 hertz remastered. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I'm just going to play it. And try not to think about too much, or try not to talk too much. All right, let's play. turn it up. Hopefully my neighbors don't mind. But just sit, be still. Close your eyes. Tell yourself that everything is okay and believe that everything is okay. had to pull myself out of that for a few moments because I fell a little bit too far in. But I hope you, I just hope you enjoy the sounds, you know. Hope it came across peacefully. Hope it came across just calmly. And I hope you can take that with you through the rest of your day. Whatever it is that you have to do from this point forward now, you can do it with a little bit more of an open heart, a little bit more of a sense of groundedness, peacefulness. And just knowing that at any point in time throughout the day, if you need this again, it's available for you for as long as the internet is alive, and as long as you have a connection. Maybe you download this and keep it, or maybe you just have your own, you know, way of tapping into this space. But it's really grounding. It's really good to. I talked about this morning in my class, but it's like finding the center of your being and sitting there, right in the palm of your heart, right, and just sitting there where nothing else can get to you, and just allowing the infinite peace, the unconditional love, the grace of God as you understand God, your creator, your higher self, whatever name it is. It's not the letters of the name or it's just the essence and the fact of the name that you remember, that you begin to connect with those qualities. You begin to connect with those characteristics, the principles of that name, that energy that you call it, that it begins to create a mood inside of you, right? A physical mood in your body, an emotional mood, a mental mood that allows you to be productive in your day, to go forth, to be of service, to do whatever it is that you feel that you have to do. You can do it in a very humble and healthy way. So, having said that, I don't want to take up too much more time of your day. Again, I'll keep this recording up if you want to come back to it. Again, rewatch it over again if you want to watch it as many times as you need to. Want to, it's theirs, it's yours. It's actually the whole entire world now. It's accessible to the entire World Wide Web, so it's out there. I just appreciate all of you that have just tuned in and spent a little bit of quality time with me and allowed me some quality time in your mind and in your awareness, in your attention. I don't take that for granted. I'm grateful for it. And I try to show up and bring my best to it as well. So thank you guys all. Take this energy, multiply it. Let it be stronger than the virus or the disease, but the same multiplying type of contagious functionality. Let your love be like the virus and let it just spread. Let it just spread to everybody around you. May you be safe and protected. Let no hurt, harm, or danger come to any one of us or anyone around us. Right.